Hello, my friends. Betty McKnit here. We are already starting week 2 of Star Blanket September. If you haven't started crocheting yet, no worries, neither have I. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday at the very first live stream. Here are some tips and tricks for getting started with your 6-day star. First, this pattern is easy, but it is not beginner friendly. If this is your first crochet project, stop here and learn some basics before you attempt the 6-day star. We'll need to know how to do the following skills. You need to know how to make a slip knot, do a chain, single crochet, double crochet, slip stitch, work in the round, work into tops of stitches and into spaces, and you will need to read and do some pattern following and counting. The pattern, the 6-day star blanket, is written for people who already know how to do all of those things and already have those skills. So I don't teach you how to do them in the pattern or the videos. Work on those basic skills and get comfortable making a granny square. If you can make a granny square, you can try this. Be patient with yourself and take your time. I'm here to help. There's a little bit of a learning curve to this pattern. It feels kind of wrong when you start out. However, it starts making more sense as you go along. Don't get discouraged. Keep at it. If you get frustrated, set it down, walk away, take a walk, get a drink, do something else for a little while, and come back. Now, let's talk about the whole 6-day thing. Once upon a time, I made a toddler blanket using chunky yarn, and I just happened to do it in 6 days. I didn't know that would become a trend or a whole thing. Every pattern that uses the same stitch, I call it 6-day crochet, so it's actually the name of the stitch. This blanket can be made in 6 days depending on your skill level and how fast you crochet. If you're a beginner or if you're really new to crochet, you probably will need more time. If you don't complete your blanket in 6 days, it's okay. If you do want to challenge yourself to complete your project in 6 days, follow the guidelines I give you in the pattern. Download one of the printable stitch and day tracker card freebies that I gave out in the emails last week, and follow the day-by-day guide there. If you missed those, you can still sign up for emails or join home base for Star Blanket September, and they'll be available to you there. Let's talk about the setup rounds and the repeating rounds. This pattern is written a little unconventionally, and that's because it's part of a larger group of patterns known as 6-day crochet. Every 6-day crochet pattern has repeating rounds of double crochet, single crochet, and clusters, and those repeat rounds are numbered 2 through 7. It makes a little more sense if you did the 6-day kid blanket first, but if this is your first experience with 6-day crochet, that might seem kind of random. The beginning rounds are referred to as setup rounds, and you only do those rounds once. After that, you move on to the repeating rounds, which are always going to be numbered 2 through 7, no matter what the sequence was before that. So after completing setup rounds, you move on to 2 through 7, and you keep repeating 2 through 7 3 to 5 times, or as many times as you like. I have given you stitch counts for 10 repeats, but you don't have to do them all. And if you want to do more than 10, you'll have to do the math. And also, please tag me because I want to see how big that gets. Now, in the videos, I show you stitch by stitch of the setup rounds and the first set of repeating rounds. The repeating rounds after that are basically the same. There's just more stitches in between the peaks and the valleys. So I just give you the counts for those. Let's talk about hooks and curling. So the 6-day star blanket patterns worked in the round require some attention to your tension at the beginning of the project. Every crocheter's tension is different, but I have found it helpful to have a few different hooks on hand so that you can adjust your tension in the setup rounds. Start your blanket with the yarn, with the hook that's recommended on the label of the yarn that you're using, or even a 0.5 millimeter larger. Have 2 additional hooks on hand, 0.5 millimeter larger than your starting hook and another 0.5 millimeter larger than that. Develop the habit of laying your work down at the end of every round and checking it over. If it curls in the setup rounds, go up to the next size hook. If it is really curling or cupping, you may need to undo that round and increase your hook size and do that round again. Once your setup rounds are complete and they're laying flat, you're going to complete your blanket with the hook that you increased to complete those rounds, and then do the rest of your blanket with that. Once you have gone beyond the setup rounds, you don't have to worry about changing your hook after that. When you find the hook that your largest hook in the setup rounds will be the hook that you complete your blanket with. Now, there is a difference between curling and ruffling. Ruffling is when you have too many stitches. If you've made a mistake and you have too many stitches in your rounds, and changing your hook is not going to fix that. So you have to go back and make sure you have the correct number of stitches in those setup rounds. Learn to be okay with having to rip out a round here and there to get your project right. We rarely do anything perfectly the first time, especially when we're new to it. And if you continue your blanket when it has this curling problem, and you'll get a bubble in the center of your blanket, and there's nothing you can do to fix it if you don't take it out and fix it when you're working on that section. You can't block it out, it won't go away. So it's better to just frog it back now, complete those setup rounds, take a little extra time with them, and make sure they're lying flat. And then you can continue your blanket with that same hook, and you won't have any further problems. You'll have a beautiful blanket that lays flat every single time. Make sure to photograph and film your progress each day. Take your little daily roll down video so that you can compile a great reel or TikTok for our social media contest. When you post your progress photos, use the hashtag StarBlanketSept, SEPT25, and make sure you tag me, Betty McKnit, so I can see your beautiful work. I love being tagged, and I love seeing what you create, and a lot of the time I'll boost that for you, and I really enjoy doing that. If you have any questions, post them in one of the communities that we have available for you. We have the 6-Day Crochet group on Facebook. We have the home base for Star Blanket September, which is a free area in my membership platform. And then we have the full membership experience, the Betty McKnitiverse. Our live streams start on Wednesday. Be sure to check my website or home base for the full live stream schedule. And I'll also be Zooming with members after every live stream. And I look forward to seeing you online. Happy crocheting. I'll see you on Wednesday.